Well. So it looks like the horrible launch of Cyberpunk 2077 could actually influence the development of another little game called Grand Theft Auto 6. Because the gaming community is absolutely fed up with bad launches. So this is the headline right here. It says Cyberpunk 2077 may justify Grand Theft Auto 6's development approach. And this is definitely an interesting take because we do know some things officially from Rockstar Games, how they are going to be handling the Grand Theft Auto 6 development process. And it looks like, yeah, Cyberpunk 2077 is definitely going to be playing a role into how they handle their game going forward. Now, a bunch of other news in this video as well. Also, how to get the legendary police outfit in Cyberpunk 2077, plus an update on how much Cyberpunk 2077 has made. It's pretty impressive. We're going to be diving into that as well as your top comments. So remember, leave a comment down below. It could end up in a future video, but let's do this. It's Open World Games here. Hope you're doing good. And let's talk about more Cyberpunk 2077 news and a little bit of GTA 6 as well. When do you guys think, by the way, GTA 6 will release? Give your best guess or estimate in the comments below. I'm extremely curious. But anyway, check this out. It says this: in the wake of Cyberpunk 2077's broken release, Rockstar Games' alleged new development approach should inspire cautious optimism from GTA fans. It goes on to say, it's no secret that blockbuster games take hundreds of hours to development and manpower to create. Even then, sheer manpower and effort doesn't necessarily translate into success. We've seen that time and time again with Anthem, Fallout 76. Now it says it's why project managers like to throw around the concept of Brooks' Law, in that adding manpower to a late software project makes it later. While that's not always accurate, it rang uncomfortably true for the broken release of Cyberpunk 2077. Every version has its fair share of game-breaking bugs, but the PS4 and Xbox One version had various technical issues and consistent fail states. It's why fans are asking Rockstar Games to take its time on developing Grand Theft Auto 6. And if we take a look at the actual Reddit post, the source here, it says, after playing Cyberpunk, Rockstar should take its sweet time. They say, has anyone played Cyberpunk on console? It's an effing mess. I don't care if GTA 6 is coming out in 2024. Just don't be rushed and give us an amazing experience. And a lot of people really agree with this assessment. We can take a look here at some of the replies. It says, can all of you now finally stop moaning about Rockstar being so quiet? They're doing us a favor. A very good case study on why it's a good idea not to announce a game 8 years before its release. That's another thing, honestly, that really did hurt Cyberpunk 2077. They announced it too soon, but I think that announcement trailer was more targeted towards investors more than anyone. You know, of course it was there to build hype, but I think they were targeting investors, trying to get people interested in funding the game as well. But yeah, there's a bunch of other opinions here, but we're going to keep reading over some of this article as well. We're going to get into actually how Rockstar is changing their development of Grand Theft Auto 6 based on certain factors with what they are seeing in their own studio and outside of their studio. So it says, however, when Rockstar Games was criticized for its crunch culture, the developer spent a year making serious changes to its development cycle. Early reports on Rockstar Games' managerial changes in the wake of that crunch controversy also described a new development approach to its blockbuster titles. I'm in reference to the development of Grand Theft Auto 6, as reported by Kotaku in 2020. It seems that Rockstar Games is implementing a new incremental method for development. Cyberpunk 2077's reception and subsequent backlash could act as a preemptive proof of concept for Rockstar Games shifting its development cycle into this new approach. And guess what? That makes complete sense. Like, they're going to see the disaster that was, of course, Cyberpunk 2077's launch. Honestly, the entire game is not a disaster. I mean, there's some really cool, amazing missions in this game for sure. So to call the entire game a complete disaster is unfair in my opinion. But let's keep going with this article right now. Alright, so it goes on to say this. There used to be a time where fans loathed the stringent silence that Rockstar Games adheres to prior to the reveal of the games. Now the article further says, other than to avoid spoilers or teasing anything before it's ready, in many cases it was due to developers working overtime to meet production deadlines. However, assuming the changes Finn approach still remains true, Rockstar Games' new development method should inspire a cautious optimism. Theoretically, releasing Grand Theft Auto 6 moderately sized and then consistently updating the game over time like Grand Theft Auto Online could lead to a much more stable game release. Let me know if you guys agree with this one. So this also kind of is a red flag for me as well. It's kind of strange because after seeing Cyberpunk 2077 release, we know that it has a shorter campaign than, you know, The Witcher 3. People have a problem with that, it seems, but a lot of people also enjoy the side activities. So let me know your take on Rockstar's possible approach to developing Grand Theft Auto 6 in that they would want to release it moderately sized and smaller than even GTA 5 and then just build off of that over time. There are several reasons why they would want to do this, of course. First and foremost, they would want to prevent crunch on their own team. They don't want developers leaving for other studios. Secondly, they would want to be able to get the game out to you all in a timely manner and figure out a way how they can release games a lot quicker instead of this like crazy, I don't know how long, it's been so long since a new GTA game has released. Like, it's been way too freaking long. And then they're going to be releasing like a new updated version of GTA 5 in February on PS5. I feel like people are like, hey, let's get going. I really want to play Grand Theft Auto 6. So hopefully that does happen. So the article does say some interesting things here. It says, would this possibly lead to a smaller Grand Theft Auto game in comparison? Maybe, at least at first, incremental content updates would ensure a truly expansive and ambitious Grand Theft Auto experience would come in due time. Even with Grand Theft Auto 5 has ballooned in size and scope thanks to incremental updates provided for Grand Theft Auto Online. And that's, you know, another thing that could be a red flag for single player fans. So if they do release the game smaller, does that mean that the single player is always going to be smaller and that they're just going to focus on online like they have with GTA 5? They've even done that with Red Dead Redemption 2. So that's the red flag with this development process for Rockstar Games and GTA 6, at least for single player fans. Of course, if you're into online stuff, you're not going to really complain. So it says here, the theoretical trade-off here would be a much more stable release, not built by excessive employee crunch, that both satisfies the developers as well as the players. Plus, it helps avoid the situation that CD Projekt Red finds itself in currently with a severe loss of good faith and additional crunch time. Yeah, they were supposed to get Cyberpunk 2077 out, and the developers were supposed to be like, we could kind of take a break, but that is definitely not what is going on with of course, Cyberpunk 2077 right now as they try to get those new updates rolling out for everyone. So we don't know of the release date for GTA 6, but I do want to keep you guys updated as to what's going on with that game. Any, you know, rumor, speculation, or actual official news. I'm going to be looking more at official news related to GTA 6 going forward. I will keep you guys updated about that, as well as anything happening with Cyberpunk 2077. Now, if you want to know how to obtain the legendary police outfit in Cyberpunk 2077, see the link in the description below to this really cool article here where they detail that as well. This guy shows the locations of police armor pieces. So yeah, that's really cool. Also, a quick update on how Cyberpunk is performing. It says super data. Digital games revenue grew 12% in 2020. Cyberpunk 2077 made $609 million. Dude, we're talking like Avengers Marvel movies numbers here. That's extremely, extremely impressive. And from what I understand, the gaming industry right now is absolutely on fire. Like, it is insane. And of course, that also deals with the fact that people are home and dealing with the pandemic. But here are the top comments. Let's go over the top comments right now. This is from the previous video. It says CD Projekt Red shuts down recent dev insider about June comebacks and cut content. You can check out that video for yourself. This comes from your boy. He says, leaker, CD Projekt Red is trying to make the game better. CD Projekt Red, this is completely false. Do not believe this. You know, it's, yeah, it cracks me up because they came out with an official statement debunking this leaker, who of course had a bunch of stuff to say about how, you know, there's going to be June 2021 comeback, but they also had a lot of bad stuff to say about how the game was developed. But I also think that by coming forward and saying that this rumor isn't true, CD Projekt Red shot themselves in the foot by also saying, hey, there's no comeback coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just everything that has happened with this game just kills me. It's like, it's crazy. All right, we got another one from, how do you say this name? DP Mental 2280. It says, CD Projekt Red, these rumors are simply not true. CD Projekt Red, it runs great in PlayStation 4 and Xbox. So you can see how people are already questioning anything they say. Like, since they have obviously lied in the past about the state of the base console versions, people are going to be questioning anything they say going forward, whether it's about release dates of content, you know, a roadmap. They're going to question everything at this point. You know, it's going to take a while for CD Projekt Red to really prove themselves with their community. They have got to get everything nailed down. When they say something is going to happen, it better happen. So going forward, they're going to have to really watch themselves with what they say. All right, we got a lot more. Free Richie says, leak, the game will be what you wanted in June. CD Projekt Red, no, it won't. Shut up and enjoy your half-baked garbage. It says they just keep shooting themselves in the foot. Exactly. Then we have Argo Fontes, who says, dev leaker, this cock-up is because of CD Projekt Red management. We're trying to fix it. CD Projekt Red management, this is completely untrue. Right. So yeah, people not really believing this at all. All right, this is a good one right here, and I agree with this. It says, regardless, they need to make a comeback. It's their only option. It literally is their only option. You know, like I said, if they do a No Man's Sky style comeback, it's going to be a while. Like, in my opinion, it would take like 1.5 to 2 years for them to re-release the game in a definitive edition with DLC and things like that. But by then, we might have GTA 6. People might be distracted. This is the problem with bad launches. You have a window. You have people's attention. You have to do it right within that window. You know, it's super important. It's like going to a restaurant and you're served, you know, a bad hamburger. It's likely you're not going to go back to that restaurant. So that's the big thing, is trying to get people back and interested in Cyberpunk 2077. And believe me, there are still people, a lot of people playing the game. Like, this game still sits in the top 5 of people playing on Steam. Despite the 80% decrease, it's still doing great. For a single player only game, that's superb. Sitting on the top 5 with some of these multiplayer shooters, that's really, really good. So yeah, I honestly am hoping that they pull it together. We'll see what happens. So I am rooting for CD Projekt Red. I hope they pull this together. They did a great job on The Witcher 3, so let's hope that all works out. But thank you all so much for the love and support on the videos. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see you all next time. Take care.